East, it's just the Rockies are always, iffy against, the Marlins, obviously, one of the worst teams in the entire league, are just, dominate the Rockies for some reason. The Nationals, we seem to always, split the series with them. We never really seem to sweep them, except last year, obviously, September 27th or whatever it was. That series, that's what you're going to get. When you have a team who wants to win and, knows what they're going to get if they're going to win, and has actual drive and has a motive to win, and you get the Nationals who are already out of contention, you put those two together and you're probably going to get a series sweep. So, besides that, the NL East has really been tearing it up against the Rockies the past couple of years. The Phillies always seem to be doing well against the Rockies. We did have a 4-game series sweep against the Braves last year, but even then, it just seems as though, those teams seem to be tearing it up against us. Even the Brewers, the Brewers last few years, we really can't even get a win against them. It seems like the Cubs we do well against. This series was tough only because, we really got a glimpse of what it's like to actually not be able to have enough offense to come back. Like yesterday, we allowed, or I guess technically 2 days ago, we allowed 9 runs, scored 8 runs. We almost had it, but the team scores 8 runs. You really don't expect them to lose. But lately, it's been the case. We've really had to score a lot of runs to lock down these wins. So you're looking at us at 32 and 29. I really do think if our bullpen held it together, I really do think we could be at 25 and 36. 36 and 25. So once again, it's the little things. It definitely is little things that really do make a difference for sure. So just another question that somebody had as well. Let me get to it. So the difficulty of the Rockies' upcoming schedule, I hadn't mentioned that before, but it's going to be like I said before. It's the divisional matchups are huge for us, especially at a time like this when we seem to be surging. Whether the Dodgers are or not. If we can take advantage of the divisional matchups now, we can get a bunch of series wins against the Padres, Arizona, or San Francisco. Whether it be the Dodgers or not, that'd be great if it is. That's going to really separate us. The next 2 weeks are going to be some of the biggest series of the season, because, right now we're sitting at 10 games back. The Padres are 11 games back, Zona 12 games back. So if we really take advantage of these series, these series games and, the divisional games, I really do think that, we can definitely cover some ground in the division. Because, like I was saying before, I don't even know if I mentioned it before, but, I like to think about it this way. Before August, you don't have to look at the division. Just look at the team. Are they winning games? Are they not winning games? Because, if they're winning games, they should be doing well. If they're not winning games, they're obviously not going to be doing well. So the Rockies right now are winning games. They're doing well. Before they weren't winning games, obviously they're not going to be at the top of the division. So they keep on doing what they're doing, and I really do think that, I think their future is definitely bright for sure. I do think that it's just going to come down to a couple of factors, like I said before. The bullpen, starting pitchers, a bunch of stuff for sure. But, that being said, I do think that, our offense definitely, I wouldn't stay comfortable either, because our offense, as we've seen in past years, that our offense can be surging at one point, and the next point really can't be. So now we're going to move into the stat leaders for the Rockies this year, just showing who's really stepped up for us, and the guys who really are putting together just great at bats and offensively are just I keep on using this term, but really are surging and are really being the glue to this team. One of them is obviously Nolan Arenado. Nolan's hitting .337 with an on-base percentage of .387, slugging .617. Obviously, Nolan, it seems like almost every hit's a double. Huge. He puts together some amazing at-bats for us, especially in the late innings. So, he's really been the guy we've needed to count on. Think about it this way. He basically, right now he's 16 homers, and he did not hit a homer till, I believe, April 15th. So the pace he's at right now, it seems as if he's hitting a homer every other night. So, At one point it was every night. So I think that Nolan, David Dahl, who's hitting 335 right below him, Blackman, who's sitting at 300, he's injured right now. Tony Walters, I'll get into that in a second. That's one thing that I really do need to touch up on because our catching situation is unbelievable right now. So, but a bunch of guys who are really stepping up for us, and I really do think that if they can, offensively, we can keep on putting up these numbers. I really do think that we'll be able to surge and we'll really be able to thrive in this division for sure. But especially looking at our, or let me just pull. Yeah, so let me just touch up on one thing. And like I said before, the catchers. So our catching situation right now, going into this year, Tony Walters, Chris Iannetta, two guys who. All right, let's start with Tony Walters. So Tony Walters is unbelievably defensively, whether it's be framing, stopping balls, picking people off, throwing people out, science, communication, all the factors that you need to be, a prominent catcher in the league. He's got it all. He's got every tool you need to be a good defensive player. The only thing that he was lacking to become an everyday guy was just the barrel. So, him batting last year, he was batting sub 180. And to be a catcher, you don't have to bat, these big numbers, 270, gears on and off. You got a lot of work to do. So you don't, whether it's an excuse or not, you really don't. You're not required to. The best batters in the league, the best catchers in the league, are not batting above 300. So, but guys like Tony Walters, who seemed to be, a completely different person than last year, is hitting 298. With an on-base percentage of 342, which, obviously, compared to last year, if you give me one moment, if you compare to last year, Tony Walters, batting 170, average 170, on-base percentage of 292, slugging 286. So if you look at those two stats compared, he really is stepping it up for sure. You look at this year, so far, just look at it this way. Last year, a total of 182 at-bats. This year, a total of 131 at-bats. Not even 2 months, or just about 2 months into the season. So he's going to, as a result of him batting well, much larger workload. Chris Iannetta is still getting work in. And, Chris Iannetta batting 254. He seems to be really pulling it together as well. Obviously, he's nearing his last couple years in the league, but pulling it together completely, Chris is, and our catching situation, it's relieving to say that it's really not one of our main worries anymore. So that being not one of our primary worries is definitely huge for us because it seems as though last year there was many worries for us, and there was a lot of gray areas and a lot of areas that we did need to improve on, but as of right now, it's more of just whether or not the Rockies can improve, whether it be their pitching or, just, getting in front, little things, getting in front, having a starting pitcher in the first inning, shut him down like Peter Lambert did today. Let the Rockies score first, build some insurance runs, and lock down a win. And, these wins start piling up, and, the sooner we're really in contention with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are supposed to have their worst year this year out of the last 5 seasons. It turned out to be one of their best years out of the last 5 seasons so far. So Dodgers surprised us all. The offseason seemed to make no moves. Cleared all this space, tons of space. Matt Kemp, Yasiel Puig, tons of space, a bunch of money as well for, potentially to pick up Bryce Harper. Landed only one guy. So, I really do think that, they surprised us just like we can surprise them as well. So, the Rockies obviously did not make too many moves. We're not really known for making too many moves, and especially this offseason. You really can't blame the front office. They did a great job. Whether or not anybody agrees, the front office did, a great job this year, whether it be, saving money for Nolan or just, the pickups like, DJ LeMahieu right now, just to pull up his stats, DJ LeMahieu, there's nothing, you can't really shy away from this, obviously. Batting 323, 223 at-bats, 72 hits. It's a shame it's a shame because we know how good DJ is. All the Rockies fans, we know how good he is. In the moment, it's, it sucks. But I was stressing this a lot in the offseason, whether it be on my live on Instagram or, in any Q&As or anything like that. It's more of just, you can't, as a team, you need to make the smart decision for your future rather than your present. Like last year, the DJ, end of his contract, the Rockies had to make a decision. Do they want to re-sign DJ or do they want to clear up space for Brendan Rodgers, Garrett Hampson, and Ryan McMahon? So, let's say we kept DJ, obviously Brendan Rodgers, all those guys can play somewhere else, but, their prime position second base, and, you have three very good second basemen. Signing DJ would be the worst possible decision. The smart move like they did, move Desmond to center field. That way, Charlie can shift over to the right because we just lost Cargo, which was smart to not resign him. We just lost Cargo. And that way, with the move of Ian Desmond, we can pick up Daniel Murphy, move him to first, and then shift all our young guys at the starting role at second base. So it was the smartest move I've seen the Rockies make in years. Very smart move to get rid of DJ, and I stand by it still. It's only a matter of time until Daniel Murphy gets 100%, and you'll see the numbers start to go up. You'll see the on-base percentage start to go up. Even right now, he was batting terribly. I can tell you right now at Wrigley, he's an above 350 batting average. So, he's definitely done some damage in his career. That's, everyone knows that. So hopefully he can really pick it up. And, right now he's sitting at, batting average of 256, and, that's gold to my eyes because, before, it's only going up. It hasn't gone down in weeks. So, he's one of the guys as well. So, but I really do think that, someone like him, I think that it's more of, he just needs time. Obviously, he's unfortunate about the injury, but he really needs time to improve, just like some other guys. Players need to adapt. It's baseball. It's a game of mistakes. I think that guys like that, and like I said before, like guys like that, even Mark Reynolds, who batting, 180, he's had, 100 at-bats. It's just, it's the small things. These guys get more work, and, turns out they're batting, pinch hitting, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, and, they're needed. So it is good to see these guys stepping up, and it is good to see whether it's the young guys or even the vets who are not getting a starting role, whether it be Mark Reynolds or, some of the guys who just got called up, whether it's Jonathan Daza, Josh Fuentes in April, just a bunch of guys. So it is great to see that, and I'm glad to see that, because going into the season, the one concern I had was whether or not, players are, our young guys were going to step up, and, and they did. So they really did, and that's the reason why we're where we are right now. Because believe it or not, Nolan Arenado is not the only guy who can really play for us, and he's not the only guy who can hit, because we have tons of guys. Obviously we have Brendan Rodgers, and I'm just naming out the young guys. Ryan McMahon, obviously he's not having such a great season average wise, but puts together great at bats, strings out doubles like it's nothing. Garrett Hampson, he seemed like he was absent for the entire month of May, the second half of April, which he really was. But the fact that we have so many guys that are good players are being sent down is music to my ears, because that means that we have so much depth that we have to send down the guys who are playing well. You think of Garrett Hampson, he's playing phenomenally, but so is Ryan McMahon at that point. So it is good to see that as well. So, but yeah. So I do really enjoy that. I do really enjoy that. The fact that some of our young guys are really stepping up. Moving on, I was gonna mention some of the milestones that's been going on lately for the Rockies. One of them being Nolan Arenado, 200th career home run. Obviously a huge milestone. That's, he seems like he's only going, he's about to hit 300. He seems to not be stopping, and he seems to, honestly, at this